Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Vidati Swapadantikam Pandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakan Dvidamscha Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prashuvanu Siddhadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpa Dhruvyaschа Kripa Sinubhyevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 4, text number 17, which is in prose. So I'm just going to read it. There's no need to repeat it. Dravya deshe kalavaya shradyartvig vivi do de shopachitai sarvai api kratubir itopadesham satakritva iyaja. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Lord Rishabdev performed all kinds of sacrifices 100 times according to the instructions of the Vedic literatures. Thus he satisfied Lord Vishnu in every respect. All the rituals enriched by first-class ingredients. They were executed in holy places according to the proper time by priests who were all young and faithful. In this way, Lord Vishnu was worshipped, and the prasad was offered to all the demigods. Thus the functions and festivals were all successful. Please repeat. Lord Rishabdev performed all kinds of sacrifices 100 times according to the instructions of the Vedic literatures. Thus he satisfied Lord Vishnu in every respect. All the rituals were enriched by first-class ingredients. They were executed in holy places according to the proper time by priests who were all young and faithful. In this way, Lord Vishnu is worshipped and the prasad was offered to all the demigods. Thus the functions and festivals were all successful. Srila Prabhupada's purport. It is said, Komara acharet pragyo dharman bhagavatam iha. The Bhagavatam 7:6-1. A ritual should be performed by young men, even boys, at a tender age, in order for the ritual to be performed successfully. From childhood, people should be trained in Vedic culture, especially in devotional service. In this way, one can perfect one's life. A Vaishnav does not disrespect the demigods, but on the other hand, he is not so foolish that he accepts each and every demigod as the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the master of all demigods. Therefore, the demigods are his servants. The Vaishnava accepts them as servants of the Supreme Lord, and he worships them directly. In the Brahma Samhita, the important demigods, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and even the incarnations and expansions of Lord Krishna, like Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and all the other Vishnu tattvas, as well as the Shakti tattvas, like Durga Devi, are all worshipped by the process of worshipping Govinda. With the words, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. A Vaishnava worships the demigods in relation to Govinda, not independently. Vaishnavas are not so foolish that they consider the demigods independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is confirmed in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Ekale Ishvara Krishna Ara Sabha Britya. The Supreme Master is Krishna, and all others are his servants. So the text again, the translation. Lord Rishabdev performed all kinds of sacrifices 100 times according to the instructions of the Vedic literatures. Thus he satisfied Lord Vishnu in every respect. All the rituals were enriched by first-class ingredients. They were executed in holy places according to the proper time by priests who were all young and faithful. In this way, Lord Vishnu was worshipped, and the prasad was offered to all the demigods. Thus the functions and festivals were all successful. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswatam Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatya De Siddharane. In this verse it mentions that the festivals were all successful. So that success, of course, is explained in Bhagavad Gita, Ashwadaya Utam Datam Tapas Taptam Kritam Chayat Asat Ichutate Partha Na Cha Tat Pratinyo Iha No Iha. That anything done, whether it be a sacrifice or austerity or charity, without faith in the Supreme, is useless both in this life and in the next. In other words, everything should be done to please Krishna. And in order to please Krishna, one has to understand the method. Previously, in the different ages, there are different methods of pleasing Krishna. In Krita Yuga, there was meditation. Kritya Dhyato Mukham. And in Treta Yuga, there was sacrifice. Yajato Mukhai. Tretayam Yajato Mukhai. In Dwapara Yuga, Dwarpayam Paracharya Talo kalotadari kirtana. So whether it be Krita Yuga, meditating directly upon Krishna, and of course, it doesn't mean simply meditation, just thinking about Krishna. It means to fully accept Krishna. Accept Krishna with all one's heart. Be willing to offer one's love to Krishna. Prabhupada writes that the living entity, he actually doesn't work with his body, he works with his mind and intelligence. So according to where our intelligence is situated, therefore our mind will follow. Generally in the material concept of life, the intelligence is situated on the false ego platform. That is, the intelligence conceives of oneself in relationship to the body. And therefore, even there may be some understanding of one's relation to Krishna, still it may be divided. The intelligence may give one's love partially to Krishna and partially to the material concept of life. But in Krita Yuga, people fully utilize their intelligence, understanding perfectly well their position as Krishna's eternal servant, and they fully gave their love to Krishna, because that's what Krishna wants, is love. Actually, that's what everyone wants. Everyone wants love. No one is looking for hate and envy. No one says, my dear wife, I'm completely in love with you because you're so envious of me. And I really appreciate how much you hate me. Therefore, I want to serve you eternally. If you can only increase your anger and greed, then my life with you would become perfect. No, everyone is looking for someone to love them. And love means service. At least in the material world, when we show our love, we offer our body, because that's the most observable thing we have to offer. So with our intelligence at the beginning, we're trying to do something in relation to Krishna with this body, according to the instructions coming from the previous acharyas. Anyabhilasita shunyam jnana karma daravritam anukulyena krishnanu shilnam bhakti uttama. So at the beginning there has to be some connection with Krishna's instructions. That's called intelligence. To try to see things as they're related to Krishna. We can't serve Krishna unless we understand how things are related to Krishna. Unless we can understand how everyone is Krishna's servant, for instance, then we may think that only the devotees, or those who have a certain tilak and a certain dhoti on, a certain sari, they're Krishna's servants, and everyone else is not Krishna's servant. And then we have to be able to discriminate in different ways, different levels of service to Krishna rendered by different devotees. What's the condition of a non-devotee, an innocent person, an envious person? It takes so much discrimination, so much knowledge coming from our predecessor acharyas, coming from Krishna, to be able to begin to develop some kind of spiritual vision to see things properly. And only when we see things properly, then we can begin to situate our minds appropriately. To know where and how to give our love. Bhakti is only about love, but we have to know where to give our love and how to give our love. Otherwise, if we give our love to the wrong place, we may become disappointed. Either our love will not develop, or it may disappear. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami advises us to learn the loving exchanges appropriately with the different levels of devotees. Therefore he says, Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti yat pranitibis chabhajantam isham shushu shaya chabhajanam ananya anya nindati sunyam hridaya isita sangalabdya. One should mentally honor the devotees who chant the holy name. One should offer respects to the devotees who are engaged in deity worship, who are initiated and engaged in deity worship. And one should faithfully serve that pure, unalloyed devotee who's advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is devoid of the propensity to criticize others. In other words, there are certain activities which will help us develop our feelings of love towards the devotees. And there are certain activities which will extinguish our feelings of appreciation and love. But in order to do that, we have to see things properly. If we see someone chanting Hare Krishna and automatically conclude that they're an advanced devotee and I should hear from them and serve them without any reservation, and then if they're actually not an advanced devotee, they may mislead me and I may develop irregular habits, unwanted habits. I may not follow the regular principles appropriately, and at the same time I may become disrespectful and even offend more advanced devotees, or even less advanced devotees. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told us, Yari Deka Tari Kaha Krishna Upadesh Amara Aga Guruhana Tari Desh. That whoever we meet, we have a meditation. In Krita Yuga, people are meditating directly upon Krishna and his loving pastimes. And because our hearts were pure, all they had was love for Krishna's devotees and for Krishna. But in Kali Yuga, we're not so fortunate. We have not been born in such a state of consciousness, and therefore we have to develop it. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us the method to develop it. Namely, whoever we meet, we think ourselves to be the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. And the servant of Krishna is someone like Srila Prabhupada, who was advanced in undeviated, uninterrupted devotional service, and who loved everyone. Even when Prabhupada would chastise someone, it would be with the mood of awakening their love for Krishna, or at least waking them up. One time, Nava Yogendra Maharaj was sitting with Srila Prabhupada in the darshan room here in Vrindavan. And Prabhupada rang his bell, asking for the guard to come, or the servant, and no one came. So Srila Prabhupada asked Nava Yogendra Maharaj, go see what has happened to the guard. No one is answering. Nava Yogendra Maharaj found the guard, and Prabhupada said, you rascal! What are you leaving your post for? And the guard started to shake. The devotee was shaking. And Prabhupada said it so forcefully that even Nava Yogendra Maharaj started to shake. And then Prabhupada said, that's all right. And then the next moment, Prabhupada was talking to Nava Yogendra Maharaj. Nava Yogendra Maharaj was still shaking from the force, and Prabhupada was completely calm and blissful. That's called transcendental discrimination and expertise. Not that in order to serve the devotees, we only serve them with folded palms and say, oh Maharaj, you are so wonderful, whatever you do is great. Although the person may be rascal number one, but still, let me flatter you 1,000 times. That may work sometimes, especially if someone is not very Krishna conscious and there's no relationship with the person. That is necessary. People are expecting, they want flattery. Without flattery, people will not become very receptive. But Prabhupada said if the relationship is between the teacher and the student, and the teacher is always flattering the student, then the student has no opportunity to make any advancement, because he's doing everything wonderful. He may be in the darkness of ignorance, but that's wonderful. You're so wonderfully ignorant. I appreciate every ignorant thing you say and do. I am your surrendered servant, my dear person in the mode of ignorance. No, someone in ignorance, you have to wake up, you rascal, jeev jago. But that's not the service of everyone. That's the servant of a person who has a certain relationship. Anu vegam karam vakyam satyam priya hitam chayat swaryaya vyatsanam chaiva vangmana tap uchite. That our speech has to awaken the transcendental consciousness of whoever we meet. And therefore it should be pleasing. It should be beneficial. It should be following the scriptural injunctions. It should be anuvegam karam vakyam. It should be truthful. And at the same time, it should not agitate people's minds. So generally, whatever we say, if it's not flattering people, their minds become agitated. You meet someone on the street, and you say, hello, and you say, my dear sir, thank you very much. It's so nice to meet you. I'm so fortunate to meet such a wonderful person as you are. How many children do you have? Oh, you have 3 children. You have such a nice family. You're so intelligent. You will look so wonderfully dressed, etc. Then people say, oh, this is a very nice person. But if you meet someone on the street trying to distribute a book to them and say, my dear sir, I stopped you because you look like you're fool number one. You look like you're in poverty, you need some help. So I want to give you this book to help you. People will not become very receptive. Therefore, what we say to people, in order to actually help them advance in Krishna consciousness, has to be done with expert discrimination, according to my relation with the person, according to what they're expecting to hear, according to what I'm inspired to tell them, according to the super soul within my heart, according to my knowledge of scripture. There are so many factors. It takes meditation to say things properly. And usually the most dangerous situation is when we become familiar. The safest situation is when we're not familiar with the situation and we have to rely upon Krishna. My dear Krishna, what do I have to say? I have no idea. Please tell me. And then Krishna says, yes, I realize you're a fool number one, and therefore you have no idea. At least you understood that. Now I can tell you exactly what to tell this person in order to help them become Krishna conscious. On the other hand, when we meet our friends, when we meet our wife, we meet our husband, we meet our children, we think, oh, I know everything. Or we think, different circumstance, I know everything. Krishna doesn't have to tell me anything because I have it all perfectly down. And then whatever we say doesn't really help the person become Krishna conscious. Often it creates a conflict. Sometimes the relationship may be in the mode of goodness and we mutually help each other stay in the material energy. enjoying the material energy. Sometimes it may be a mode of passion, our relationships. We're anxious to enjoy with each other. And sometimes it may be in the mode of ignorance, especially in Kali Yuga. You rascal! No, you're a bigger rascal than me, I am. I cursed you. No, I count to curse you. May your nose fall off the next 3 weeks. The Daksha Jaga. No, so we have to get into another kind of meditation. A meditation, whoever I meet, this is Krishna's servant. This is not a material body I'm meeting. This is a soul, and inside the soul there's a super soul. And my business as the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna is to take shelter of someone like Srila Prabhupada. His instructions in his book, his example, and meditate upon what I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to think, what I'm supposed to say, how I'm supposed to say it, in order to help this person or devotee, my husband, my wife, my children, whoever it may be, advance in Krishna consciousness without any material concept of life. Of course, it is not that we don't have different relationships with different persons. It is not that everyone is Krishna's servant, so now let me go to the zoo, enter into the tiger's cage, offer my dandavats, and say, my dear tiger, before I was thinking you were simply a tiger, but now I know that you are Krishna's eternal servant. Please forgive my offenses and accept my obeisances. Yes, the tiger will be very happy and will accept prasad, and you'll be that prasad. No, I may have a wife, I may have a husband, but I should not forget that this is my wife, or that this is my husband. Priyavrata Maharaj, he was a perfect devotee. He was absorbed in transcendental love for Krishna. He was being instructed by the topmost devotee, Narada Muni, how to renounce the world and eventually go back to the spiritual world. But he happened to be the son of Swayambhuva Manu. And Swayambhuva Manu decided to renounce the world. Therefore, Swayambhuva Manu, realizing he might have some difficulty with his son, because even back then sons were not always so obedient, he decided to approach Priyavrata Maharaj with Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva and Lord Indra and a few other Mahajans, 4 Mahajans against 1. And he approached Priyavrata on the mountain. I think it's called Gandhamandana Mountain. And there he requested Priyavrata kindly accept the post of the rulership of the whole universe. So Priyavrata was a little reluctant. No, it's all right. I want to go back to the spiritual world. No, Lord Brahma said, this is your duty to accept the post of a controller of the universe. Most people would think, wow, thanks a lot. Just one universe, you have an extra one I can control too. But he was advanced in undeviated devotional service, therefore he accepted the post, but he accepted it with complete renunciation. But that renunciation did not mean he did not get married. He got married to a very beautiful lady. I believe her name was Archie. But he related to Archie, who was also an advanced devotee, as her husband. Not that Archie came with a very beautiful dress, nice hair, nice looks, and said, Priyavrata said, no, go away, you're Maya. Don't disturb me. I'm trying to meditate. No, he accepted her glances, her feminine gestures, and acted as if he was an attached householder. And he ruled the universe for many hundreds of years, thousands of years, acting as a perfect householder. But within his mind, within his heart, he was always detached, always meditating in Krishna consciousness upon the transcendental name, form, quality, and pastimes of Krishna. But externally, he acted as a perfect householder, as a perfect husband. But he never forgot himself. So this is not very easy, but it is possible, especially in this age, when we understand the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That whoever we meet, we try to help people become Krishna conscious. We try to help our wife become Krishna conscious. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada said, even when we're living in family life, morning and evening we sit down together and we chant Hare Krishna together. We hear Srimad Bhagavatam. We worship the deities. In this way we remember that actually Manasa Deho Geho Yogi Chumora. My mind, my wife, my body, everything actually belongs to Krishna and must be utilized in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement to help people, others remember Krishna also. And the fact that they should utilize their energies in the service of Krishna. So let the wife cook for Krishna. Let the wife cook for the devotees of Krishna. Let the wife cook for her children who will become devotees of Krishna. Let my wife cook for me. And in that way, I can utilize that energy in the service to spread the Sankirtan movement. So this is the intimate relationship based upon devotional service. When Srila Prabhupada was asked by one devotee, what is the intimate relationship between a newly married man, devotee, and his wife? This particular devotee had just gotten married, and he was wondering, what will be the intimate relationship I have with my wife? So this was a morning walk, and Srila Prabhupada replied, yes, intimate relationship. The wife cooks nice prasad for Krishna, and then the householder goes out into the street and he shouts in a very loud voice, who's ever hungry, let them come and eat. Who's ever hungry, let them come and eat. Who's ever hungry, let them come and eat. In that way, if someone comes and you invite them into your house and you feed them nice prasad. This devotee was a little confused. He thought, Srila Prabhupada, maybe he didn't hear me. So much noise on this walk. So again he asked Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, I just got married. I want to know what will be my what should be my intimate relationship with my wife. So Srila Prabhupada looked at him and said, yes, your wife makes nice prasad, you offer to the deity, and then you go out in the street, and in a very loud voice you shout out, who's ever hungry, let them come and eat, 3 times. So the devotee thought, Prabhupada must be hard of hearing. He obviously did not understand my question. He thought, one more time I'll try. Prabhupada, let me explain once again my question. I just got married, M-A-R-R-I-E-D. And I want to know what should be my intimate, I-N-T-I-M-A-T-E, relationship between myself and my wife, W-I-F-E. So Srila Prabhupada looked at him again and smiled and said, yes, your wife makes nice prasad, offers it to the deity, and then you go out into the street and you shout out 3 times loudly, who's ever hungry, let them come and eat. So eventually the devotee understood something what Prabhupada was referring to. So the point is, we have one relationship with everyone. That is dasa, dasa, anudasa. Not that everyone we have the same service relationship with. That relationship is established by relating with our spiritual master in disciple succession, who's connected with the full spiritual potency of Krishna. And therefore, by serving his instructions, the Krishna gives us full knowledge, full potency. Sometimes it's in our society, for instance, we understand Srila Prabhupada is our founder Acharya, and that Prabhupada has the full spiritual potency to deliver anyone in this universe. Not only the potency, but the discrimination how to do it. Now the question may be, if we're not directly connected to Prabhupada in disciple succession, how do we become connected to Prabhupada? Well, we become connected to Prabhupada by serving his instructions. And those instructions also come from those who are connected with Prabhupada in disciple succession. So it is those instructions that, by serving those instructions, that connect us to the disciple succession through Srila Prabhupada, and give the disciple succession and the previous acharyas and Lord Krishna the desire to give us their full mercy, so that the Dhammi Buddha Yogam Tam. We have the transcendental expertise in discrimination, how to deal with anyone to help them become Krishna conscious. Whether we're direct disciples of Srila Prabhupada or disciples of the disciples, the most important thing is that connection with the instructions and the willingness to serve the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his mission. The spiritual we may have a spiritual master, he may be fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, he may not be fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. But if he's connected with the source, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, and those in disciple succession from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if I serve those instructions, then I'll become fully Krishna conscious. Krishna is not looking whether or not my spiritual master is 100% Krishna conscious. He's looking to see whether I'm 100% committed to serve those instructions or not. If I'm 100% committed to serve those instructions, then he'll give me 100% mercy. And even my spiritual master may be 100% absorbed in Krishna consciousness. If I'm only willing to serve those instructions 50%, I'll only get 50% mercy. Therefore, one should become committed to understanding and trying to serve the instructions. Of course, to understand those instructions, those who are more expert will be able to explain those instructions to us more clearly, so we'll be able to have proper discrimination, how to expertly serve the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and awaken within everyone's heart the understanding that we are Krishna's servants and the desire to serve Krishna. To understand how wonderful Krishna is, how blissful it is to serve Krishna. Srila Prabhupada was especially blissful. I remember one time my temple president, after coming back from visiting Prabhupada in Los Angeles, because that was the first, he was explaining to me that he was sitting in the garden, this is 1970, with Prabhupada, and Prabhupada created Vaikuntha in the whole garden. That he was blissful, everyone else in the garden was blissful. So Prabhupada invoked that pleasure that comes from being absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And then he also gave expert instructions how we ourselves can put Krishna in our heart also, and always experience that transcendental happiness of associating with Krishna and his devotees by pure devotion. Therefore, we not only want to serve those instructions, but we also have to understand the expertise of what it means to be full of bliss, full of knowledge eternally. And that comes from trying to serve those instructions with great care and attention. So when we speak, following Prabhupada's example, it should be pleasing. It should be beneficial. It should be truthful. It should follow the Vedic instructions. It should not agitate people's minds. And it should be to help people become Krishna conscious. And then Krishna will give us the examples of the previous acharyas, the examples of Prabhupada, the examples of advanced devotees, and then they'll appear within our hearts, and by their potency, we'll be able to deliver others to Krishna consciousness, and by their potency, we'll also become delivered. Bhavad vidas bhagavatas tirtha bhutak swayam vibho tirtha kurvanti tirthani swantak stena gata britaha. If we choose the right devotees who are blissful in Krishna consciousness, we place them in our heart, we meditate on their instructions, we meditate upon their expertise in delivering others, and then whoever we meet, we try to help them become Krishna conscious. Then the result is we'll become blissful, we'll become expert. Krishna will give us intelligence how to help others advance Krishna consciousness, and our lives will become perfect. And we'll be able to help others' lives become perfect too. So, we may not be very advanced in Krishna consciousness, but we have to develop this prayerful attitude. We have to develop not only a prayerful attitude, but this missionary attitude. We have to take up Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission seriously and understand that we're not simply here to enjoy the holy name. We're not here to enjoy prasad. We're not here to enjoy the deities. We're not here only to enjoy the devotees, although that's certainly enjoyable and necessary to enjoy. We're here to enjoy these blissful gifts of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission in such a way as that we become inspired to go out and help everyone, whoever they may be, take up also, accept the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, accept the teachings of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, and take up also the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in some way, either by their body, their mind, their words, their wealth, or their life. If we take up our activities in that way, then we'll be happy in the association of devotees, we'll be happy in our family life, we'll be happy with our friends, we'll be happy in the temple, we'll be happy outside the temple, and everywhere we'll go, we'll see the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the six Goswamis, the Acharyas, the Panchatattva, and Lord Krishna himself, with all his associates, will be with us to help fulfill that mission also. So, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Any questions?